Okay, so this video is going to be about throwing a bowl. So we're going to center the clay, and the only thing that's different about throwing a bowl from a cylinder is how you open. Okay, so I've got about 2 pounds of clay here. It's a little bit more than what you would use for a mug. And we'll get it on the wheel and get it centered, and then we'll open it up like we would a cylinder. Oh, getting it centered. Okay, so once your clay is centered, I'm going to make the lump of clay at the bottom. So this is about 2 pounds of clay. It'll make a good sized, a big-ish soup bowl, small-ish serving bowl. So the base of the size of the lump of clay where it attaches to the wheel, that's going to be the base of the bowl as it sits on the table. So you want to make sure that that opening of the bowl is the right size. Now I can make the bowl come out as wide as I want to. Usually the rule is about twice as big as your base is how big you want to pull out your bowl. So my bowl will be about that wide because my base is about that wide. So it's centered. So I'm going to open up. Slow my wheel down just a little bit, and just like opening a cylinder, I'm going to find the center and go slightly to the right of center and go down to the bottom. Stop my wheel, and with the pin tool, check the depth. I have about that much at the bottom, which is a little bit more than I would leave for a mug, which is good. We want to leave a little bit more clay at the bottom so that we can trim a foot into this. So the next thing, this is the only difference in opening up a bowl from a cylinder. So I'm going to heal that hole a little bit, and then when I open up, instead of pulling with my fingers straight across the bottom and then pulling straight up, I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to make a curve because we want the base of our bowl to be rounded, and we want to establish that rounded base on the bottom of the bowl right from the beginning. Now my wheel's not going that fast, and I'm going to start opening up, and as I'm pulling, instead of opening the flat bottom, I'm lifting my hand a little bit as I come along, and the opening is more of a bowl shape. Okay, so you can see I've opened more sort of a bowl shape. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of really establish that. I'm going to compress. So where you would compress across the bottom of a cylinder, you're going to compress the bowl shaped bottom. And each time you do a pull, you're going to reestablish that shape on the inside. Okay, so now I don't really have an undercut on the inside to work with. I do have a little bit of an undercut on the outside, and so when I pull up with my bowl, I'm going to pull up and out to the side a little bit. Okay, the first pull I'm going to make, slow the wheel down a little bit, I'm going to press inside and outside, and I'm going to bring it more or less, straight up. When I get to the top, let my hands off gently and compress my base or my lip. Now we've got lots of clay at the bottom, and it gets thinner as it comes to the top. So we're taking this clay from the bottom and we are pulling it up the side. And we don't want our bowl to get too wide. Compress that lip and just reestablish that bowl shape on the inside. The inside profile is more important at this point than the outside profile. Just make sure we don't get any fingerprints or divots. So I'm going to take some of this clay from the bottom. I'm going to hook that with my fingers and I'm going to bring it up. You can see the bowl getting slightly taller. Gently fingers on, gently fingers off, compress that lip. Okay? Pick up any water I have inside. Work on establishing that, making sure that that is a beautiful curve on the inside. Okay? Add some water on the inside, water on the outside so we get some slip. I'm picking up more of this clay at the bottom. And I am throwing up. Gently take your fingers off at the top and compress that lip. Okay, so our bowl's getting a little bit taller and a little bit wider. It's better to bring your bowl straight up and then lean it over afterwards than to try to make it too wide. If your bowl gets more than twice the width of the base, if it goes out farther than twice the width of your base, then you have a tendency for it to sort of want to collapse. So you want to try, if you can, to bring it straight up. I'm going to go a little slower for this last pull. Picking that clay up at the bottom. Notice how slow the wheel is going and how slow my fingers are going. Get to the top, gently take my fingers off, readjust that lip. Now for a bowl, I'm not really drinking out of the bowl, so I actually want to leave a little bit of extra thickness to the rim of my bowl. Okay, and you can play with how much or how little. I want that shape to stay. I don't want that shape to warp as I take it off the wheel. So I'm going to leave a little bit of extra clay there. You can thin it a little bit, but a nice lip on your bowl is nice. And then you can reestablish this inside shape, make sure that that's the right shape. You can use your metal rib. This metal rib, you can use that to sharpen up the shape on the inside. Clean off some of the slip. You can also use it on the outside. Take off some of that slip. Okay, so now once you have your bowl shape, pick up some of the water. Now you can play with shape a little bit. So I can belly this out a little bit if I want to, pushing a little bit here, giving my bowl a little bit more roundness. I don't want to push it too far, because if I push it too far, it might collapse over this way, right? We don't want that to happen. Now at the bottom here, you're going to end up with quite a bit of clay at the bottom. So it'll be, you know, even thickness all the way down the side, and then at the bottom, you're going to end up with quite a bit of clay. That clay down there, because it's a bowl shape on the inside and it's not a flat bottom, that clay down there will be trimmed off. Okay, you do lots of trimming on a bowl. So then you're going to take off the stop the wheel, cut it off. Okay. Take your wooden tool and take the flange off before you cut it. Then you cut it off. Then you can take your fingers like this and take it off the wheel. Okay? That's how you make a bowl.